Yo, what's going on everyone? Welcome back. So in today's video, we are going to explain the entire timeline of Cyberpunk Edgerunner
From the very beginning to the bitter ending.
So without any further delay, let's get started. David Martinez is a young man who attends the prestigious Arasaka Academy at his mother Gloria's behest in the year of 2076. Despite their financial struggle, David illegally modifies his cyberware to avoid paying for or required update to keep attending class. However, the modification ends up crashing the school system, and Gloria agrees to pay for the damages. On the way home, David gets into a brief argument with his mother before they are caught up in a drive-by shooting, leaving Gloria badly wounded. David manages to access Gloria's saving account to pay for her medical costs, and discovers she had stolen a military-grade Sandevistan implant. After getting assaulted by his classmate Katsuo, David finds out to his dismay that Gloria's condition has been worsened and she dies in the hospital. Now, completely broke and enraged at Katsuo for insulting Gloria, David meets up with Doc, a local ripperdoc who he regularly buys black market goods from, and requests to have the Sandevistan installed into his own body. Doc agrees to install Sandevistan, which grants David superhuman strength, speed, and reflexes. With his new abilities, David returns to school and takes revenge on Katsuo by assaulting him in broad daylight, which results in his expulsion from the academy. Katsuo's father, Tanaka, an Arasaka executive notices that David is able to utilize the Sandevistan with no apparent side effects, which would make him a valuable test subject for their latest product. Meanwhile, as David aimlessly wanders the city, he encounters a young netrunner, Lucy, who agrees to take him on as a partner. After a night of pickpocketing mugs on the subway, David collapses due to overuse of his Sandevistan. Lucy takes David back to Doc, who prescribes him immunosuppressants and wants him not to use Sandevistan more than 2 or 3 times a day, although he notes that David appears to have a remarkable tolerance to it. Lucy invites David to her apartment, where she confides that her dream is to migrate off world to the moon. She shows David a virtual reconstruction of the moon's surface, but it turns out to be a ploy to sell out David to a gang of Edgerunners. David is confronted by the gang led by a man named Min, who reveals that Gloria had sold the Sandevistan to him a day before her death and that he is an acquaintance of hers. David reveals that he is Gloria's son and offers to work for Min, demonstrating his compatibility with the Sandevistan. Intrigued, Min decides to honor his friendship with Gloria by giving David a chance to prove himself. David then returns home, having lost his trust in Lucy. The next day, David meets up with the gang and Min introduces him to the other members, Kiwi, Dorio, and Pilar. David then participates in a heist to steal navigation data from Maxim, a driver for Arasaka. The plan goes awry due to unexpected complication, and David and Lucy are forced to steal Maxim limo to gain the navigation data instead. Main rescues them from a tiger claw biker sent by Maxim to kill them and officially inducts David into the gang, having been impressed by his performance on the job. David also meets Main's fixer, Faraday, who brought them the job of stealing Tanaka's movements. David then receives a message from the academy offering to let him return, but he bluntly turns them down. As a new recruit, David receives training and instruction from the other gang members, including running errands for Pilar and his sister Rebecca, learning how to drive from men, and jogging at the night with Lucy. He also participates in several jobs with the crew, such as taking out a gang of scavengers, rescuing Rebecca from the Maelstrom gang, and helping Lucy with her pickpocketing ace. He learns that Lucy is a talented net runner, but not much else about her past. David confides with Min that he has feelings for Lucy, but he is certain she doesn't feel the same, and has trouble figuring out whether he should trust her. Eventually, David begins to feel at home with the gang. However, on the way home from a bar, Pilar begins harassing a homeless man being on the street. The homeless man is revealed to have cyber psychosis and suddenly kills Pilar with a concealed gun. When the cyber psycho targets Lucy, David uses his Sandevistan to approach the cyber psycho and shoot him while men finishing him off. David takes Lucy home while the gang stays behind to take care of the mess, where Lucy reveals her dream to go to the moon is genuine. David promises Lucy he will take her to the moon, and they kiss. The gang tries to find more leads on Tanaka, and Kiwi mentions she discovered that he secretly indulges in illicit brain dances created by JK. David recognizes that as the handle of Jimmy Kurosaki, a famous BD director who also custom tunes BDs for special clients including Tanaka. Seeing a potential to ambush Tanaka, the gang attempts to kidnap JK, but he outwits them, captures David, and flees the scene with Lucy and Dorio in pursuit. JK subjects David to traumatic beatings in an attempt to induce cyber psychosis before he is stopped and captured by Lucy and Dorio. With no other choice, JK agrees to lure Tanaka in, but not before cautioning David that the Sandevistan will inevitably make him go cyber psycho. Tanaka arrives to meet with JK and is subsequently captured, but not before JK is mortally wounded in the crossfire. With the trauma team incoming, the gang is forced to quickly evacuate with Tanaka, while David remains troubled by JK's words. Main begins developing signs of cyberpsychosis as he starts having trouble controlling his implants, randomly blacks out, has hallucinations, and has significant mood swings. This culminates in him losing his self-control and assaulting Kiwi as he tries to hack into Tanaka's cyberware, seriously injuring her. Lucy agrees to take Kiwi's place, but only under the condition that Main be kept away and David accompany her. As Lucy dives into Tanaka's mind, Tanaka regains consciousness and begs David to let him go, telling him that he was responsible for rescinding his expulsion from the academy. He still has a future there, and that the Edgerunners will kill him after they extract his information to tie up loose ends. This causes David to hesitate long enough that Tanaka's neural implant sorts out, risking killing Lucy too. Gloria disconnects Lucy safely, but their jammer was disabled, resulting in trauma team receiving Tanaka's vitals and en route with the NCPD as support. Main sends David and Lucy to their escape vehicle first, while he and Dorio take Tanaka to distract the authorities. However, during the battle, Main begins to succumb to his cyberpsychosis, resulting in Dorio's death when she attempts to protect him. David tries to rescue Main, but can only watch helplessly as a regretful Main blows himself up, along with Dorio's corpse. All David can do is flee with Main's arms. A few months after Tanaka's boss kidnapping, David has become the new leader of Main's Edgerunner group, having taken on more implants, including Main's arm implants, and becoming a well-renowned Edgerunner himself. However, he has been unable to convince Lucy to rejoin the group. After successfully completing a job for the fixer Wakako to rescue a PIB from the Maelstrom gang, David is approached by Faraday, who offers him a job from Militech against Arasaka as a test to see if he is worthy of inheriting Main's last job to recover the data Tanaka was hiding. Faraday also requests that David try to recruit Lucy again. Returning home, David talks with Lucy wanting to know more about her past. She reveals that she used to be part of a special team of Arasaka net runners, raised and trained to delve into the old net to recover lost data. However, the work was hazardous as it exposed them to rock owls and malware, which killed most of their team. Eventually, Lucy was able to escape Arasaka and ended up in the Night City. She also admits that while she used to only worry about herself, she is now more worried about David's health. Later, Lucy kills an Arasaka agent investigating data about a test subject that was mysteriously erased from Tanaka's records. Taking on Faraday's job, David murders an Arasaka lab director but shows sign of cyberpsychosis in the process. Meanwhile, Arasaka counterintelligence is investigating the mysterious deaths of Arasaka personnel. Believing Militech to be involved, they arrange an assassination attempt on Faraday, who narrowly escapes, with Militech refusing to provide protection due to his lack of results on recovering data on Arasaka's cyberskeleton project. Faraday makes contact with Arasaka instead. Arasaka is willing to forgive Faraday for Tanaka's death in return for him tracking down the netrunner responsible for hiding Tanaka's data and killing their agents. Meanwhile, David continues to show more symptoms of cyberpsychosis and suffers from trauma, overkilling an innocent secretary that reminded him of his murder. Doc recommends that David scale back on his implants, only to be attacked by David, thus souring their relationship. David once again tries to recruit Lucy, but she insists there is something she has to take care of first, and David considers breaking up with her. Lucy then detects another Arasaka agent looking for Tanaka's data and heads over to kill him, only to fall into a trap set by Faraday and Kiwi. After interrogating Lucy, Faraday and Kiwi discover that Lucy has been actively hiding Tanaka's data on David as a potential test subject for the cyberskeleton, and was responsible for Tanaka's death to ensure his silence. Realizing this, Faraday plans to offer Lucy and David up to Arasaka to secure his position in the company. Faraday assigns David a mission to assault an Arasaka convoy to carry this out. David recruits the help of Kiwi, Rebecca, and Falco, and they manage to seize the convoy's main cargo, which is revealed to be cyberskeleton. A Militech force then arrives, thanks to a tip from Faraday, who intends to force David to install the cyberskeleton and use it to destroy the Militech force as a demonstration of its power. Kiwi makes her escape, as Faraday impersonates Lucy to trick him into installing the cyberskeleton. Lucy is able to escape briefly and warns David about Faraday's duplicity before being recaptured. Angered, David uses cyberskeleton to annihilate the Militech force despite his massive toll on his body. He then tells Rebecca and Falco they will rescue Lucy and get revenge on Faraday. David fights his way through Militech, Arasaka, and Maxtech forces as Rebecca and Falco head for Arasaka Tower. All the while, David's condition continues to deteriorate as he runs out of immunosuppressants. Meanwhile, Kiwi has a second thoughts about working with Faraday and decides to cut ties with him, so he has her killed as a loose end. Before she dies, Kiwi tips off David and the others on Faraday and Lucy's location. David attacks the tower, killing the Arasaka guards, rescuing Lucy and incapacitating Faraday. Realizing the situation has spiraled out of control, Arasaka deploys the legendary cyborg Atom Smasher to put down David. During the fighting, Faraday falls to his death and Rebecca is crossed by Atom Smasher. David tasks Falco with getting Lucy to safety, while he stays behind to hold Atom Smasher off. Despite having the cyber skeleton, David is no match for the more experienced Atom Smasher, but he dies content with the knowledge that Lucy is safe and has no regrets. Sometime later, Lucy fulfills her dream of traveling to the moon, but is despondent that David is not there with her. Thanks for watching everyone, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe to our channel and also ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos and to never miss any of our further updates. Thanks for watching everyone. Take care.